All right. At least you can see as much of the cards as possible. Yeah. So, underlying energy, Two of Wands, very similar to Libra. You have to make a decision about which direction you want to take. This is about the decision. So, relationship, your whole love life is about making a choice between two avenues, or more than one. Obviously, there's more than one way to go about something, but you can't go straight, right? You're gonna just fall right off the cliff. So, I really feel like this is about making a decision about where you want to go, where you want to take it, because I feel like you got some harmony, some peace, some balance. There were some things that you've been healing within yourself, getting some things in order for yourselves, and now it's like, well, where do we go now? Where are we going to take this new opportunity that the divine timing had brought in? Well, so you have the the Ace of Pentacles, so that's already like a huge thing in itself, okay, which talks about, commitment, stability, support, security, the potential of it anyway. This is not like a guarantee, but this is someone that's offering something like this, or this is some sort of new beginning regarding some sort of long-term commitment of some sort. Now, what's crossing that is the Page of Cups, which is understandable, right? I feel like there's a lot of practical areas about this, but maybe perhaps you don't know if you want this. Very similar to Libra's reading, similar, right? They're the Two of Cups crossed by the Ace of Cups. So for you guys, you have the Ace of Pentacles with the Page of Cups. You don't know you guys, you want a commitment, but you don't necessarily, I don't know if you want this truly. Like, I don't know if you really want a commitment, or that if there's something missing regarding, like, there's not a lot of emotional connection. There's maybe someone's not communicating how they feel. And I feel like there's something here that you can tell that they're starting something new, but nobody's said anything. Maybe somebody didn't express their emotions, or didn't communicate. Now, somebody maybe somebody offered you love, maybe some sort of long-term commitment, but they made it sound like a business transaction rather than, in a relationship. Like, you're like, whoa, do you even love me, or is this like some sort of investment that's going to blossom or something? Like, what is the real intention behind it? I feel like if there's practical means behind it, but somebody is not really communicating how they feel, right? There's a lot of like, let's get married, but like, why? And for you, it's like, what do you feel about me now? Like, is it about emotions for you, or is it just about what you can get your hands on? Now, I don't think this person's coming in to be very malicious. I think their attitude is very practical, because you have the King of Pentacles in the past. Now, this could be you guys, because you guys are fixed signs. Fixed signs comes up as kings all the time, so you guys could be feeling ready to commit, ready to stabilize. There could be that you guys are ready to become more solid, more settled, but the thing is that you don't necessarily want to say it yet, or maybe you don't really want to communicate that quite soon, or maybe the emotions are too young or too premature. Maybe you want to start something very solid, very new, but the thing, something like towards marriage, but it's too early to call. Perhaps maybe this is something that needs to cultivate. But for some of y'all, this also could indicate as well that there is some sort of situation, obviously with somebody offering you something, but the thing is, it's like there is this there's just this need to discuss this, I guess, discuss what you guys, the terms of children, perhaps. I feel like perpetual children. I think that, you want to start something new, but maybe there's some sort of thing about kids that are coming up, because you have 2 pages here, and I think there's something going on, like maybe you want children, and this person's like, I don't know about that, or this is like hypothetical children. No one really is having, I don't know if anybody really has kids, but there's like this communication of hypothetical kids coming up, and somebody may not be looking at that, or maybe somebody's a little bit off that. But that's a very small message, may not resonate with a lot of people now. But seriously, this could be you guys feeling very feeling very solid, ready to commit to somebody. You may have your eye, you may be possessing them already. This is, if you guys, this is your love life reading, so your south your 7th house is Taurus, so it makes sense. If you guys come out the King of Pentacles, you'll definitely tapping into your Taurian energy, which would indicate, obviously, that you guys are really feeling this person. Okay, you want to possess them or have them. They're yours. They're like something very precious and very valuable to you, which is understandable. But this could be also someone else. This could be somebody that is like very practical, very stable in itself. They show that they have solid means to do things. They're very grounded. They're very they're very protecting. They're very solid. They just create fortresses all over the place, and that's a sense of security in itself. There's no doubt about it. This person's also a traditionalist. I can get the sense of that too. Perhaps this person's wanting to get married, but there's, like I said, like maybe you're not necessarily sure you want to do all that. Maybe you want to commit to, but you don't really want to jump into that marriage thing, or maybe you do, right? But the situation has something to do with emotions, and somebody hasn't necessarily communicated those things yet. And the King of Pentacles wouldn't anyway, because he's, yes, he's a very loving sweetheart. He's a family man and all that. But the thing is that he really is focused on making sure his family is staying afloat. They're solid. They're on stable ground. But what's concerning me about your present is that you have the Page of Wands. But now this is going to be like a hell of a lot of fun, a new adventure. And that's cool, right? It's fine. I don't have a problem with that. But the situation is this. You have the King of Pentacles in the past. And then somebody's playing lighthearted. Somebody's acting like, oh, yeah, this is just all fun and games. What? That's weird to me. I don't understand. How are you going to jump from, like, if the Page of Pentacles would be fine. Like, I don't have a problem with Page of Pentacles. But this is the Page of Wands, the Page of Cups. And somebody offered a new beginning. But the thing is like, where is the substance behind it? I think there's the perpetual fear of somebody saying it very lackadaisically, like, and you took it and you may be taking them very seriously because they come off as somebody that means business. You know what I mean? And they just, it's turning out that they're not necessarily being serious about it. There was no serious intent, which just makes no sense because the King of Pentacles is a very serious individual. When he says he's going to do something, he's going to do it. He commits to it. So I feel like there may be a lot of flirting, maybe a lot of lighthearted, energy, a lot of passions being kicked up. But, maybe not a lot of emotional communication, which is totally fine. And that doesn't bug me too in the slightest, right? There just there need to be some dedicated time to spend, to getting to know each other, which is totally fair enough. A lot of relationships need those things. But if this is somebody that's come off as very, stable and very solid in the past, and now they're acting like, everything's just lighthearted and fun and we're just friends or something, or just like people that met that want to just play around, then we get a little confused. Then it's understandable why you all have the Three of Swords in your external energy, because it maybe was like, what the hell happened here? Why did you say did you want to do extra stuff with me, and you don't even intend to even stabilize? It's like, I think you guys may be getting the sense that somebody may be feeling like they were solid, but all they want is like some fun. They don't really necessarily want to be stable. They may, but I'm not getting liar cards, so that's why I can't say that this person's lying. I feel like maybe it's perceived as something lighthearted because you're not feeling exactly secure, which is totally acceptable, right? The reason why we want security or some sort of stability or some sort of commitment is because we'd be feeling some state, we're feeling very insecure. We're feeling very vulnerable. We're feeling like we're like hanging and flapping in the wind, and what we seem to be very lighthearted and something like like a hookup or something like that may not actually be a hookup. It may be something more, but it's not seen that way. It may not be communicated that way either. That doesn't mean that that's the case. But again, guys, the reason why I say this as well, because Venus is going retrograde in your sign right now, 10 degrees all the way back to Libra, 25 degrees. This shit's going to hit y'all hard, and it's totally understandable. It's just accepting it now. Because that's what the Three of Swords is in your external energy. You have to accept the fact that you are vulnerable. It's okay, and you guys are always vulnerable. Like, you guys are water signs. It's just the thing that you guys actually have to deal with as, as water signs. You guys are always vulnerable. It's how you deal with that vulnerability that makes you guys very special, right? Scorpios, you have a different way of handling your vulnerability. You guys go to the source. You do it privately. You don't necessarily have it exposed to the whole world. You do it within yourself, but that's, again, being vulnerable. So this is a situation here. It's like somebody's testing, it's testing the waters a little bit. It feels like, but they may be actually somebody that's very stable. You can trust this individual, I feel like the King of Pentacles is very trustworthy. You know what I mean? Like, the King of Pentacles, I've heard several times you may have to be careful with them because they may swindle you, because they may want just the money more than anything. But that's like in his negative light. And I don't see him in a negative sense. Like, he's the master of stability, contracts, groundedness, things like that. Things that are real, tangible, and realistic. He's realistic like that. And you know what? If he says he's committing, he's committed. There's no backing out of it. Not just in the moment, he's just feeling it. There's something here. Now, for some of y'all, this may be something like I don't know if it's I don't want to say it's consummating some sort of marriage or anything or having sex. Yeah, it could be very sexual, but this situation is missing one card that I would like to see for that. And you know what? It just looks like this person. Yeah, I think this person means well. I think the delivery of the message just kind of wasn't right, because now your future energy is the Eight of Cups, where somebody's emotionally done with the situation. Somebody's emotionally done with the situation, walking away. Again, I don't think this person is opening up enough. I don't think this person is communicating with you or your feelings. But this could be that this person just may not feel very comfortable yet. And that's the same thing, right? Maybe the thing that would make you feel like you're going in the direction of something long-term and stable is if they actually communicated with you how they felt, instead of just flirting and just having a good ass time. You know that they're capable of having a great time with you. It's not the problem. The problem is, how do you feel? And I feel like they may be dealing with somebody that may not just know how to communicate how their emotions. They know how to work. They know how to have sex. They know how to have a great ass time, but they don't necessarily know how to get down in the deep emotional level. And probably because it scares them. It's, again, there's reasons why people do things, and the reason why they may be workaholics, it has to do with their vulnerability and feeling emotional. Not saying that's the cookie cutter way for everybody, and that's not necessarily the go-to, but there may be a reason why, if you're having issues communicating with somebody in an emotional sense, it's because they have some things that they don't necessarily know how to be open about it. They kind of know how to work through it and push through it and ignore it and keep going. But again, I'm not saying that this is the person's case, but it could be it. You know what I mean? I don't think that they mean any harm. Now, your goal, aim, and vision is the Two of Swords. I think you may be worried about making a decision that's the wrong decision, or making this, or taking the action that you feel you're led to take if you were to look at the situation with both eyes. Now, if this person, again, is just having some mental breakdown, or just having some sort of just not just not good at communicating emotionally, that does not mean that maybe you just have to tell them straight up, like, I can't deal with somebody that can't open up, you know what I'm saying? But again, like, this Two of Swords is like taking the just taking the blindfold off, putting down one of them swords, and just speaking your truth, saying, you know what, this is how it's gonna be, this is how it has to be. Yeah, I can't deal with X, Y, and Z. And this person may be acting this way because it brings up something about you. Now, we're in Libra season, so every relationship, even before the season, right? Even before and after season, Libra season, every relationship should be a reflection. And I feel like Libra season is a reminder of this. Every relationship, friends, family, interpersonal, like romantic, they are showing us a piece. They're showing us ourselves. They're showing us back at us. We have to assess and figure out what we want to do to overcome the karma, overcome the things that we've done to protect ourselves from pain, overcome all kinds of stuff. It's about seeing them with both eyes. And the thing is, it's like there's no eyes open with this, And I feel like that's, it's because you don't want to cut this off. You don't have to. There's no indication here that there's any cutoff. There's just that these things get dry. There's no substance behind the things that this person may be saying, because this person doesn't know how to communicate with how they feel. And you may just have to tell them, you know what? I need to have a heart-to-heart conversation with you. Let me know how you feel. I need to know. Again, Scorpio, this could be the same with you. Maybe you have to open up, and you may have to communicate how you feel, because maybe this person is thinking that you, or it doesn't matter what they think, but there's like, this all lighthearted, passionate energy. Maybe this person maybe is distancing themselves because they don't necessarily know if you are actually playing them. When you're solid, you're stable. The foundation is the King of Pentacles, which is somebody that's definitely stable. And I don't think that you are trying to hide yourself because you're trying to hide yourself. They're not doing it for the sake of it, but you are doing it for a good reason, having to do with emotion potentially, and especially with the Three of Pentacles, Three Swords coming out. If you're doing something that if they're not communicating emotionally, then that means that there may be something emotionally regarding you that you may need to communicate. Now, in your outcome, you have the Knight of Pentacles. So things move a bit slower, not so fast, but I think it's a good thing because especially with things being misconstrued potentially, you know, communication being kind of crossed, you may have situations where somebody may say something or act a certain way or do something where it just doesn't make quite sense. And you have to look at it with both eyes and take your time and really look at the details. Because this person may not be trying to just be a player or be, you know, or trying to, you know, just, you know, get off or anything like that. They may just know, they may not just know, you know, they may not know how to communicate, you know, they may not know how to express their emotions. I maybe didn't think that they had to. It's weird, you know, if they're going through a weird time and that's distancing themselves, then it could be that, you know, they're going through something, but they need to, you know, they realize that this person, you know, that you're there for them, and that's it, you know, that you're there for them. So what you got for your wisdom of the oracle? You guys have a message in the bottle. Okay. That to me indicates that there are some things that you may have to see a little bit closely. Like I'm saying before, the message in the bottle, as I always interpret it, it's like, oh, look out for synchronicities and confirmations. No, this is actually talking about going in and making sure that the stuff that this person is doing or saying or acting as, or whatever happens, right, with this Page of Wands, action-wise, you know, communication, like make sure that that's what they truly mean if they've been very faithful, very stable, very solid for you in the past. You don't know maybe if this person has a very odd way of just handling their issues. That doesn't mean it's correct though, right? Just to straighten that out, because your thing is making a decision, taking action, saying what you need to say, you know, communicating your truth and or walking your truth at that. But but you want to get to the full story. And that's the beauty of you Scorpios. Y'all always get the full story. You guys know you know that the core essence of a situation is the most important. That's the energy of Scorpio. Pure, too straight to the point, the core of the situation, the heart of the problem. I don't know if y'all watch Gordon Ramsay in his Hell's Kitchen, or not Hell's Kitchen. I want to say Kitchen Nightmares, and he always gets to the bottom of it. He's always like, this is something wrong, but why? And it's usually something that's going on with the family, if you notice, like, and a lot of the dynamic within the relationship or what have you, and it's affecting the restaurant. He gets to the problem itself, and that's what y'all have to do with this person. Why are they acting this way? And then also it has something to do with you. What is going on with you guys? Similar, because they're just reflecting something within you, right? Something that you can, there's a little food for thought. Not saying that you're not, you know, you're doing something wrong. We're never doing anything wrong, guys. We're doing everything that we're supposed to be doing in the moment that we're doing it, so we can learn and expand and be the best versions of ourselves, right? But there's something about this individual that, you know, you want to look at to see whether, you know, see what you need from them or what they're trying to show you about yourself in a way. Whether if you have good communication issues, or, you know, if you have good communication strategies, or the, you know, if you hide your emotions, if you hold them out. Now, the messenger is a new day dawns. Now, this is the first card that you got. This is new life in a way. This is a new beginning. It's the Fool, and I like this card because this talks about this is going to be a new way of handling things. As a matter of fact, with the Two of Wands, this is the very beginning anyway. You have to make a decision about where you're going. This is the same thing, making a decision about where you're going to go. And it starts from getting clarity into the situation, looking for the answers, you know what I mean? Getting confirmation. Is this person legitimately just in this for sex? Or is this person truly trying to make something real with you? And I feel like when you get your answers, you'll be able to set this Three of Swords, you know, down. You'll be able to, whatever these old issues are coming up here, it's because this person triggered that. Not that the person is the problem, but it's that what triggered this, guys? What triggered this? And I feel like once you realize and figure out what it is that triggered you about how this person's been operating, you'll be able to make the decision you feel like you can best make for yourself. Okay? Because right now, I feel like this person doesn't mean anything harmful by the way that they've been acting or the way that they've been communicating or lack thereof, if anything at all. Right? But I feel like that doesn't excuse them, but it doesn't excuse you if this has been you. But at the same time, though, it just talks about having to get more in depth, get more time in together to really start to integrate good, healthy communication between both of y'all. That's all that means. I don't see any breakups. I don't see any of that. But I do see that there's some stuff going on that make few people feel very uncomfortable. But that's not it. You know, this is the beginning of a new cycle, especially when it comes to building a relationship that's solid, that's stable, and it's actually going to go somewhere. You're going to want to take time to really get to know the person, get to know their things, you know, situations that they'd be dealing with. Even if there's hesitation in regards to proceeding forward, getting to understand the why and trying to show compassion for not just yourself but your partner. There's a lot of things that go into it, right? But all in all, there's something deeper to this, more than meets the eye. Message in the bottle. You know, it's not the message that's the message; it's the reaction to the message that's the message. So you got to go in deep.